Aside from having the right settings, sensitivity, and proper weapon attachments, striker choice is also important. The striker you pick directly affects your playstyle. Every striker has different strengths and advantages. Some strikers provide better mobility, others provide more survivability, and there are also strikers that causes disruption in fights. Mastering a striker that fits your playstyle will make every fight feel more controlled and predictable. In today's video, I'm going to be showing the top 5 strikers you should be using this season. These strikers stand out not just because of their abilities, but because of how well they perform in real matches, whether you are playing aggressively, defensively, or supporting your squad. I'll break down what makes each striker strong and how they can help you secure more wins. At the bottom of the list, we have Volts. The primary skill of Volt's electromagnetic pulse deals 40 damage to armor and other utility devices, for example, Ethan's shield, Emma's beetle drone, or Hank's turret, and it can extend up to 40 meters away. Enemies hit with this skill cannot see their teammates' name tags and cannot use skills for 10 seconds. Very helpful and can cause confusion during a gunfight. This also prevents enemies from escaping using their skills during a fight, especially against Zero and Katia users. At level 3, you can slow down enemies by 15% and prevent them from sprinting, but only if it's at full charge. If you hit your enemies with a skill at full charge, your chances of winning is extremely high, given of course that you land your shots. This is a perfect counter, especially to those movement players. This is a bit similar to Kinda's skill, the only difference is that with Volts, you can prevent your enemies from using their skills. For his passive, the Coursing Currents, it grants a 10% increase in movement speed and 50% increase in reload and ADS speed for 10 seconds. For his passive to work, you need to fill this lightning bar icon and you can charge energy by attacking or knocking down enemies. Also at full charge, it grants shield recovery. The only problem that I noticed is that it takes a while to charge his passive again. After a full charge, you'll notice that the icon turns to red and it seems like you need to wait for the remaining energy to drain before you can fill it up again. Next on the list, we have Zero. This striker used to be the top one on my list, but over time, I realized the potential of the other strikers. Zero is a very popular pick, especially for aggressive players, given that his skills are useful for pushing, rotating, and even escaping difficult situations. His primary skill, Shadow Strike, enables him to slash forward after charging his skill and covers a short distance, perfect to quickly close the gap on your enemies. The initial cooldown of his primary skill is 45 seconds, but at max level, it decreases to just 38 seconds with a faster charging speed. On the skill description at level 3, it's indicated that each successful parry reduces its cooldown, so I put this to the test. First, I tried deflecting bullets with his secondary skill to see if it reduces the CD of his primary skill. As you can see, it didn't affect the cooldown of his skill. Next, I tried hitting enemies with his primary skill to see if it has any effect on the cooldown. Unfortunately, it didn't work. If you know something, please share your thoughts in the comments below. By the way, if you knock an enemy using Zero Shadow Strike skill, it automatically restarts the cooldown and you can use the skill again. Zero's secondary skill, Swordmaster, works in 3 different ways. First, using a melee weapon increases Zero's movement speed. Second, it has the ability to deflect bullets, but only bullets aim at the upper body. You can still receive damage if you get hit at lower body. Lastly, when using a katana, every third slash or attack will unleash a powerful strike that can knock enemies back. I tried doing this with a different melee weapon, but it only works when using a katana. Up next, we have Emma. Emma has been popular ever since she got released because of her sustainability in gunfights. With her primary skill, the beetle drone, it can restore 8 HP per 1.5 seconds and it can also be used to support your teammates. You can heal them even if there are buildings, walls, or any structure as long as it's within 40 meters. At level 3, the beetle drone's casting range increases by 20 meters and its duration by 10 seconds. I tested the duration of the beetle drone at level 1 and it can last up to 17 seconds. You can see Emma's efficiency in fights as you level up. At level 5, the beetle drone can revive fallen teammates, but it takes a bit longer to revive than using revive kits. It takes 9 seconds while revive kits only take 7 seconds. And you need to be stationary during the whole reviving process because if not, the drone will not revive you. The beetle drone can be destroyed by bullets or skills like with Volts and Katia's primary skills. Emma's secondary skill, Acceleration Ring, increases the movement speed of a player who passes through it by 15% for 5 seconds. It's very useful for rushing, rotating, and even when you escape. Overall, her skills are great even if you paired it with an aggressive playstyle or more of a passive playstyle focused on providing support on your teammates. At second place, we have Katia. I did not have any expectations for this striker when it was first released, but her skills are actually broken, especially with her primary skill. Her primary skill throws an explosive kunai that explodes after a 1 second delay and deals 75 damage and reduces movement speed by 20% within a 5 meter radius for 2 seconds. The best part of this skill is when it reaches level 3. It clears all enemy armor within its blast radius. I put this to the test to see if it really clears all armor even at max level. As you can see, it broke the armor even at max level. So even if you are at level 3 then you're up against an opponent at level 6, you can still win if you hit your primary skill. Her secondary skill, the Phoenix Sky Dance, performs a short dash. This is actually a very good skill for outplaying opponents in a fight. You can mix it up with your movements to become more unpredictable. You can use it for rushing enemies as well as for escaping fights that are difficult to win. I also use this skill when landing to outplay my opponents and also to avoid the parachute and fall animation which causes delay, and that delay could be fatal. At level 5, you'll gain a 10% speed boost for 3 seconds after each dash. Katya can also perform minor wall climbs. When this striker was released, it was actually annoying because she automatically enters the climbing animation whenever you are near a wall, but fortunately they have already fixed it. There's now a setting for this skill. You can either set it to hold, tap, or automatic. I always prefer hold for faster reaction, just like with my ADS button. I tested the distance traveled of her wall climbing ability at level 1 and max level to see if it covers more distance, but it turns out that they are just the same no matter the level. At the top of the list, we have Nova. For me, Nova is currently the best striker that excels in both offense and defense. Let's start with her skills. Her primary skill, Toxic Grenade, explodes in impact and releases toxic gas, dealing 10 damage in a 7 meter radius area for 15 seconds. At level 5, there is a 50% increase in the toxic gas damage and a 40% increase in its range, so it now deals 15 damage every 0.5 seconds, covering an area with a total of 9.8 meters for 15 seconds. Her Toxic Grenade can be used to force enemies out of their position, especially to those players who likes to camp inside buildings. This can also be used as a cover to disrupt enemy vision, especially when you rotate in open areas. I prefer a strategic playstyle, and with Nova's skills, there's a lot of possibilities on how to approach a fight. Nova can also absorb her toxic gas for a 15% increase in movement speed and reduces shield recovery interval for 50% for 15 seconds. I put this to the test to see if it really has an effect on the shield recovery interval. As you can see, the shield recovery is faster when Nova inhales her toxic gas. Her passive skill, Poison Master, makes her immune from the toxic gas. I started playing Bloodstrike during the second season, and Nova at that time was not immune to her own toxic gas. She also didn't have the skill to absorb the toxic gas for speed boost and lessen the shield recovery interval. But with this passive skill, she is only immune to her own toxic gas. If there's an enemy using Nova, you'll still get damage from the toxic gas. In addition to that, Nova has the chance to poison enemies, lowering their shield recovery rate by 40%. Here's a quick comparison. Overall, with Nova's skill set, you can approach fights confidently whether you want to be aggressive or strategic. Do you agree with this list? Who's your favorite striker? Comment down your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.